Hi guys, since my video about charms changes coming in Winter Update 2024 a few days ago, CipSoft have made quite a lot of changes, quite significant changes. A lot of them I'm very happy about, so we will do another little review, little update about the changes that have happened in the past few days on the test server. Now, I will mention that I think these are probably very close to the final changes of charms that we are going to see. The cynic in me even thinks that this is the intended feature update that CipSoft always had in mind, but for some reason they didn't publish this at the start. They just wanted to make it seem like they're making some changes in the test server, whereas this was always the target, because this makes way more sense than what the initial proposal had. So bottom line, I think this is probably very close to the final stage of what the charms are going to look like when the update releases. Anyway, first of all, main changes we have is few charms have been recategorized to this passive charm category. This is Adrenaline Burst, Numb, Cripple, Cleanse, Vampiric Embrace, and Void Call. This is great. This is what people have always been talking about. These charms are not very much used. Put them in their sort of passive category. This will make them way more usable. So this is a great change. Really, really happy with this. Moving on, the names of the new charms have been changed. So active charms now become major charms, passive charms now become minor charms. This makes much more sense because active and passive and offensive and defensive didn't make any sense with really what the charms were. Major and minor is a much more arbitrary classification, which makes much more sense for the way charms work in Tibia. So I'm very happy to see that from now on we will be referring to major and minor charms. So the way you unlock these minor charms now is no longer with, charm points, bestiary points, how we used to unlock charms in the past. Now, major charms are still unlocked in the same way for bestiary points. So, like for example, a tier 2 freeze charm will still cost 800 charm points, for example. But minor charms will be unlocked with this new currency, new point system called minor points, which will be unlocked by unlocking major charms. So you will be getting 100 minor points every time you unlock or upgrade a major charm, which means that for, the regular charms that you have now, which are tier 2, you would be getting 200 minor points for each tier 2 charm. And just using some rough numbers, I think a lot of my friends, a lot of people who don't ignore bestiary have, somewhere around 8,000 charm points, 7,000 charm points, 10,000 charm points, which is usually somewhere around 8 or 9 charms currently, which will correspond to about 8 to 9 tier 2 major charms once the update hits. This will get you around 1,600 minor points, this new currency used to unlock minor points. Obviously, this will vary depending on how many charm points you have. And, if you do a little quick maths here, upgrading minor charm costs 100 for the first level, then 125 for the second, then 130 for the third, which is a total of 100, 225, 375 points, respectively, to unlock a T1, T2, or T3 minor charm. Therefore, someone with, 1,600 minor points, which is around 8,000 charm points, usually, can unlock something like T4, 4 times T3 minor charm and 1 times T1 minor charm, or like this combination, or some other sorts of combinations. And this is important because I'm going to talk about in a couple of slides, I'm going to talk about, my suggested way to get these minor charms and which are the strongest. But before we get there, one other note that CipSoft have talked about: the cost to reset all charms. At the start of the update, they only did this with gold. You were able to reset your charms with a gold reroll, which was quite expensive, but not prohibitively expensive. However, they are now talking about adding a secondary cost to re-rolling or resetting charms, most likely hunting task points, they say. For those of you who don't know, because they don't really have any purpose in the game, those are the points, next in the praise system, right? You have the praise, and then you have the hunting tasks. You can get like a mount for the hunting task points, etc. Generally speaking, majority of people see those tasks as useless, so not a lot of people have been really collecting those. But if they are now going to be a part of this charm reset system, they will have a use. So maybe you might want to start looking into getting some hunting task points before the update already. You will probably need a few of those when the update launches. This is to be confirmed, so we'll see what the numbers are like. Now, I don't hate it. I do think hunting task points have been very underwhelming, and they do need some other uses. I don't love having to have the hunting task points. I would prefer to see a system where maybe you can pay like a set amount in gold only to reset your charms, or you can pay a lower amount in gold plus some hunting task points to offset some gold costs, right? That's to give an incentive to get some hunting task points, like a 2 two system. If you don't want to do hunting task points, you pay more gold. If you do want to do hunting task points, you can pay less gold to reset your charms. That's what I'd like to see. We'll see if they go down this route. Anyway, moving on from this, they have published the numbers for the minor charms. So now we have this set of minor charms, and they've published. They're not like, this is the first draft of what the values are supposed to look like. In some of these, it refers to the trigger percentage. For example, in Fatal Hold, it's like you get 30, 45, 60% chance to trigger. I believe this refers to an Adrenaline Burst as well, 6, 9, 12% to trigger. In some others, like Vampiric Embrace and Void's Call, the percentage refers to how much you're going to be getting back on the trigger. So the percentages are quite difficult to sort of understand at a glance. But nevertheless, I've sort of been looking at these and trying to figure out which ones I would be using when the update starts. Now, this is obviously assuming these numbers stay as is. But like I said at the start of the video, I think they are probably pretty close. I don't think things will be changing here massively, so I'm pretty confident in what I'm going to be getting on day one. And here is basically the breakdown that I've come up with. So based on these values, in my opinion, what you will be doing when deciding your minor charms when you go to a hunt, you will be thinking, first of all, I want to use Fatal Hold if there is only one monster that runs away. So for example, you go into Oromond Catacombs, Dark Torturer is the only monster that runs away. You will definitely be picking up that Fatal Hold, tier 1, sufficient. You'll be putting that on the Dark Torturer in there. And same goes for any other spawns which have like one monster that runs away. You definitely want to be using Fatal Hold. If no single monster runs away, you move down the sort of checklist or tier list. If there is a monster which does significant mana drain, you will probably be wanting to use T3 Void Inversion on that monster. So you'll be applying that. If, again, either of these charms are taken or there is no mana drain, you move down the tier list, then I think you would be applying Gut if a monster drops some expensive creature products. So, for example, like expensive imbue items or just expensive Yasir items. Gut will be, increasing your profit margin by quite a lot. So I would probably be going for this one in the third place. And then finally, if none of the above, none of the first 3 points really apply to the spot that you're hunting, you would probably be going for Void's Call and Vampiric Embrace just to boost your life leech, mana leech a little bit. And if you still have some passive charms available and, you still got some slots to apply, then you're probably going to be going for those sort of more niche charms, which will have some use. Something like Cleanse, Numb, Cripple, or Adrenaline Burst will probably be pretty good. I still don't think you will ever really use Bless. Maybe you will use Bless in like Soul Pit, for example. If you're doing some difficult monster in Soul Pit, you can apply Bless there. That might have some niche use. I don't think Scavenge is going to be used unless you're really going like some, Demon Dust hunting or whatever. But yeah, I think this is how I'm going to be doing it. I know for sure that, if I'm going to Oromond Catacombs, I'm first applying Fatal Hold. Then I'm looking at all the other monsters and nothing drains mana, so I skip Void Inversion, then T3 Gut. I probably would apply Gut. Let's have a look. We're using the Oromond Catacombs as an example. I would probably put Gut. What would I put Gut on? I don't know if I would put Gut on anything. I'll probably put on like Hellspawn. They have Hellspawn Tails, maybe. And then I'll put Void's Call and Vampiric Embrace on like Grim Reaper and Destroyer, for example. Actually, I'll probably put Gut on Destroyer, right? They have the metal spikes, which are worth a little bit. So I'll probably put Gut on Destroyer and then Void's Call and Vampiric Embrace on Hellspawns and Grim Reapers. Just as an example, that's how I would do it, right? Probably, then maybe stick something left over on like Demons or whatever. So I think, just as an example, in most player cases, most players will only really care about the charms, the minor charms from those first 4 points, which is Void. So you will need 4 times T3 minor charms, Void's Call, Vampiric Embrace, Gut, and Void Inversion, and probably just 1 tier 1 Fatal Hold, which is actually a total cost of 1600 minor points, which is what I was talking about in the previous section. So my personal opinion and feeling for the update is if you have around 8 charms right now before the update hits, this will be equivalent to about 1600 minor points. You will probably be able to pick up all of those minor charms at the level that you want past the update. If you have fewer than 8 charms today, you probably want to start doing some bestiary hunting to pick those up, because those passive charms will be very, very useful. It's just an extra power that you can apply on monsters that you can't currently. And as mentioned, the cost of those, the cost of resetting all charms will be quite significant, most likely. So you're probably not going to be wanting to change those, every day. you're probably going to want to unlock those and stick with them for a month or 2 or 3. So you definitely want to be picking up those bestiaries. You want to be picking up those charms to make sure you have all the passive charms that you need, which as of today, in my opinion, is T1 Fatal Hold, T3 Avoid Inversion, T3 Gut, T3 Void Skull, and T3 Vampiric Embrace. Anyway, that's what I have for you today, guys. As mentioned, I'm very happy with those changes. I think this really opens up a lot of places, adds a lot of fun and theory crafting to using charms. Very, very happy. I even like this minor point system. So yeah, not really many complaints. CipSoft has been really, really nailing it with this. So I'm really happy to see this. We'll see if there's any numerical changes on those. Some of those are a little bit weak, but that remains to be seen. It's not really that important. The functional changes are very, very good. Yeah, that's what I have for you today, guys. Let me know what you think. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.